We said it before in another video, friends don't let friends buy the Galaxy S23 Plus, and certainly not at full price, especially when there's something like the OnePlus 11. This has been an absolutely phenomenal experience for the first few days. This isn't going to be the full review, but I do want to put out some things that this phone does well that make it the alternative and probably the phone you should be getting if you had ever considered an S23 Plus and you're disappointed because you know what? I don't need the S Pen. I don't need some of the features that the S23 Ultra forces me to pay for. However, I did like when I would get something like an S21 Ultra where I could get all the features and the performance and the higher end specs that I wanted in a phone that doesn't have the S Pen and require that extra $200 for the S23 Ultra, and that is right here. I don't know if it's just me, so I want people to let me know in the comments section. I paid the $699 because I got the 8 gig version of it, but I got a notification today I'm getting $100 back, even though I didn't have a trade-in. So that would make it $599. Now, I don't know if that's something that they did for people who didn't have a trade because they had those $200 enhanced trade-ins, and people were saying, well, why isn't there the same heat for OnePlus that there was for Samsung for their trade-in offers? Well, OnePlus, yeah, the headline number was $360 for something like trading in an S22 Ultra. However, they were offering just $200 on top of everything. So that made it $560. So that was essentially offering $60 more than Samsung was offering for their own phone. So the OnePlus offered some phenomenal deals. So if you're somebody who focuses on screen quality, display quality, performance, battery life, and yes, now with the software updates, 4 years of major Android updates and 5 years of security updates for Oxygen OS, then this is something that you might consider. If you're not camera heavy, even though we'll talk about the camera in a moment, then the OnePlus is absolutely something that you want to consider. Let's start with the display. 2K display, okay, so you're not sacrificing that. The S23 Plus is getting you that 1080p display at $1,000, which is ridiculous. So you get an LTPO panel here, the 120 hertz, 2K display, absolutely phenomenal. And yesterday we talked about how the S23 Ultra seems to have turned down the saturation a little bit, while OnePlus has turned it up. They always had these creamy displays that were more of the yellowish tone, a warmer tone to the software color temperature or to the display color temperature. This one has actually pumped up the saturation a little bit. So if you're a fan of that old school Samsung saturation, well, then this is definitely a phone that you should be looking at because it's absolutely beautiful, silky smooth, super great, super fast and snappy performance with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on there. And Oxygen OS has been okay. It does take some getting used to. There are some things. In fact, tomorrow we're going to have a video that's the top 5 things that you should do right away when you get your OnePlus, and most of that's going to be just changing some settings in Oxygen OS. But it's still better than Material U, okay? It's still better than, I think, the Pixel experience on aesthetics and functionality. Not on the AI stuff and not all the extras that Pixel has in there. I understand that. But you can see it here. I could go into my toggles. I could get to my Wi-Fi. I could get to Bluetooth. It's relatively clean. It's a nice experience overall. Now, when you get to settings, it starts to get a little like their settings are all over the place. There's your OnePlus account that you can log in from. There's different stuff that you have to see. But if you get past that, notification shelf or whatever shelf from the swipe up, we'll go over tomorrow to get rid of that and just have it where you pull down anywhere and you get your notification shade, which is much better than that shelf thing that they got going on. But once you make a couple tweaks, the OnePlus 11 starts to look like a regular Android device and runs just as well. And I love, the curved displays, we're over it. I get it. But if you're coming from an S device, if you're used to that, then this kind of keeps that. And a lot of people said that they don't want a device that doesn't have a curved display because it adds that premium feel. Well, you certainly have that here. The build quality is good. A lot of people had complained about the build quality and said, well, it's cheap. Okay, well, look, if that's true that I paid $599, not $699, it's half the price of the S23 Ultra. And while the S23 Ultra does have a better build quality, this is still pretty good. It's still premium. And you're getting all that for that kind of money. Love the build on it. Love the texture on the back. Love the fact that it's matte black, not that piano black, which would just be a disaster. Let's talk about the camera. Pretty good. You know, they've kind of struck a balance. We'll put up a couple test shots here. They've struck the balance between the Pixel 7 Pro with its natural tones and Samsung with the punchier tones that they put in their color science or color technology for their images. And you could see, and OnePlus has kind of gone right between those two, where it's a little bit more saturated than you're going to get on your Pixel 7 Pro, but not quite the oversaturation that people talk about on your S23 Ultra. So I do think that's good. Alert slider's back. A bunch of people love the return of that. Fingerprint sensor is snappy. Face unlock is lightning fast. Love the animations. Love the smoothness. The performance is great. The battery life is going to be similar to that of an S23 Ultra. You got 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 5,000 milliamp hours in this battery. I'm getting easily 6.5, 7 hours of screen on time. It's great to use all day long. No issues whatsoever. The Twitter experience is smooth as well. I know the S23 Ultra got a lot smoother. This one's pretty good too. A couple hiccups here and there, but overall, super smooth throughout the entire UI. Takes a little getting used to, but OnePlus is definitely back. Would I like to see some other changes to Oxygen OS 13 and 14 going forward? Sure, to kind of get back to the old school experience that they had. But from Oxygen OS 12 to 13, it's a huge difference. It is not Oxygen OS 12. It is absolutely better than that. The Color OS stuff they put in here has been toned down a little bit, but it's gotten back to a premium experience, a premium performance metric, you know, where you kind of feel how fast the phone is with not paying that over $1,000 price. And that's, to me, what OnePlus absolutely had to do to make this a legitimate competitor to some of the other ones. Now, it doesn't try to tick all the boxes that they tried to last year. It doesn't try to go toe-to-toe with the S23 Ultra in every single category, but it doesn't need to. If you prioritize the quality of your display, the performance that you get, battery life, and software updates, and that's it. The camera doesn't matter a lot to you. Some of the AI stuff doesn't matter a lot to you. There's some other things there that you could let slide. This should absolutely be your device, because at $599, $699, you're getting, well, I can't even tell you 95% of the flagship experience of other devices, because it's more than that. If you kind of look past some of the challenges and some of the quirks of Oxygen OS, you're looking at 98% of whatever you're getting. I mean, if you exclude the camera stuff, the day-to-day performance is as good as anything you're going to get on the market for that kind of money. It's absolutely a challenger. If you don't need an S Pen, you get the 80-watt fast charging. The charger comes in the box, which has been absolutely phenomenal. Lightning fast, can go up to, I think, 100. That might be the global version. That international version, it could go up to 100 watt. But 80 watts on this one. You get the face unlock. You get a premium build. You get a nice design. Fast all over the place. Just plain works. OnePlus has gotten back to what it needs to be. And when you look at the competition, at $999, the S23 Plus is all the more insulting. You get everything that you're missing with the 120 hertz, with the 2K display, fast charging, the fantastic quality, the size of the display, the nice build. You're getting all that you're getting back from the S23 Plus, plus the 2K display that they took away for a whole lot less money. So if you're somebody who doesn't want an S23 Ultra, whether it's you don't want to spend the extra money, you don't need the S Pen, you're annoyed by some of the changes, but you don't be hampered by that S23 Plus when there are alternatives that are as good as the OnePlus 11. I look forward to the full comparison with the S23 Ultra, because the performance goes head to head. It's that good right now. And a lot of people are hating on it. It doesn't get a lot of attention on YouTube. They've kind of fallen out of favor with all the big YouTubers and basically everybody. But this is a device worthy of attention because OnePlus is back. And that's what we need. You know, we drove LG out of the business because we complained about this, that, and the other thing. We basically brought OnePlus to within an inch of its life in terms of being competitive with Pixel devices, with the Samsung devices. This is the device we needed. It's the competition we needed, and it absolutely is going to be worth your attention in 2023. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.